Today we're building another one of these LEGO 3-in-1 sets. It's like one set that has multiple personalities.
We wouldn't know anything about that sort of thing.
Nope.
Certainly not.
No way, no how.
That would be a little crazy.
Hello all, I'm Josh. This is Josh Build Stuff, and today we're talking about a lion, as well as two other savanna-dwelling creatures. This is the Wild Lion LEGO set, another Creator 3-in-1 set. This set was just released in January 2021, contains 224 pieces, and only costs 15 bucks. The build I have before me is the Lion, one of 3 build variants that you can do with this set. The other 2 are the Ostrich and the Warthog, both of which we will also talk about. But the Lion, he is the king of the jungle, I guess, even though lions don't really live in the jungle. He could also be the king of the forest, if you're following that Wizard of Oz logic from the Cowardly Lion song. If I were the king of the forest. As I usually do with these 3-in-1 sets, I have built them all. So let's talk about the Ostrich first. The Ostrich build here is okay. The way I usually build these 3-in-1 sets is I'll start with the build that I think I will like least, and then I'll build up to the main build shown on the front of the box. And in this case, I thought I would like the Ostrich least, and I do. There's nothing wrong with the build. It's simple, it's kind of comical. I think it looks decent for what it is using the pieces that are here, but I don't think it would stand up very well to scrutiny or to criticism, or literally in this case, because it does not stand up very well. All 3 of the builds in this set use those little ball joint pieces which give each of the builds some articulation in different places. In this case, the Ostrich has some articulation in the neck and the legs and the feet, and that's kind of his downfall. Again, kind of literally, because he's kind of flimsy when you try to stand him up here. His arms, or I guess wings in this case, are also slightly articulatable, which gives him some more posability, but again, the more you move his arms, the more he's just likely to fall over. The second build I built in this set was a Warthog, so here are some fun Warthog facts. Did you know that the Warthog can fire over 2,000 rounds per minute? Comment down below if you get what that joke is from. Also, did you know that when a Warthog is young, he might find that his aroma lacks a certain appeal? He could clear the savannah after every meal. He's a sensitive soul, though he seems thick-skinned, and it hurt that his friends never stood downwind. That is the only Puma joke I will make today, but not the only Lion King reference. Obviously, the main build in this set is a lion, but in terms of my opinions on the Warthog, again, I think it's okay. I like the set a little better than the Ostrich build, but not as much as the lion. I like the tusks in the head of this little build. I think it's more like a little sculpture than a little build, but I think there's some playability and posability problems with the legs being on these ball joints. It's just hard to get everything lined up well to get him to pose nicely, especially with non-articulatable knees. Look at me, I'm complaining about articulatable knees on a $15 set. Boy, we come a long way on this channel. But on to the main build of this set, and this set's namesake, the Wild Lion. I don't know why they called it Wild Lion. I assume it was just because LEGO didn't want to make a set that was just called Lion, and so they threw an extra adjective in there, that being wild. But in this case, I would be lion if I said I were wild about this set. That's a fun way of saying I'm a little underwhelmed. Maybe my expectations are just too high for a $15 LEGO set that depicts a lion. Again, I don't dislike this set, but I've just been building more complicated cars and vehicles and other sets from this year, and so when I get to this slightly smaller 3-in-1 set, maybe my expectations were just a little too high. That being said, I don't dislike it still. It looks decent. It does look kind of like a wild lion from the right angle. It does look kind of mean, kind of aggressive. I do like it as a little LEGO sculpture. I don't love it as a playable build. I say that again because of the posability, because of all those little ball joints that are used. If you pose this set just right, it looks decent. But from a kid's perspective, when they go to play with this thing, I think it'll end up more like this. And then the lion will just kind of sit like this semi-permanently. His legs are hard to get to pose just right with his feet and like his ankle joints. Again, no articulatable knees, so what's going on here, LEGO? Alright, at the risk of sounding a little nitpicky, let's zoom out a bit and look at this set as a whole. Not only do we get a little lion here, we also get a couple of accessory pieces. We get a little bone bit with that, I guess the lion has just eaten something. We also get a little bird, which I assume in this case is meant to be a little vulture, and I like these little tiny micro builds for what they are. My first thought when seeing these accessories was, again, the Lion King, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with the lion. But if you remember, there's that scene where Scar has Zazu cornered behind some rib cage of some other animal, and you can stick this little vulture directly behind these bones and make him sing "I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts," just as Zazu did. But besides this Zazu wannabe and these remains of a Fred Flintstone-sized pork chop, let's talk about this lion. To me, he's no Jonathan Taylor Thomas, if you know what I mean. He's a very bright lion, and by that I mean he's very highly saturated. It looks like someone just turned that saturation slider all the way up, because he is a bright yellow and a bright reddish brown, but he looks enough like a lion. I do like him as a Lego sculpture, like I said before, especially the sculpt of the head. I think in the scale it's impressive what Lego was able to do here. But I feel like he just lacks a little bit of the grandeur of like a male, scary looking lion with a big, thick, cool looking mane, like Simba's when he returns in The Lion King. Do you know what my favorite joke is from The Lion King? It's not from Lion King 1 or Lion King 2. It's from Lion King 1.5. Did you know that existed? But there's a part where Simba, when he's younger and he's being raised by Timon and Pumbaa, they're walking back and forth across like that log bridge over and over again. I think they're like potty training Simba or something. I haven't seen the movie for a long time. But I think it's Timon. He does a one-liner and he goes, "We're gonna grow old walking over this bridge." But it's funny because in the first Lion King, there's like a montage scene where the three of them are walking across the bridge and the little baby lion turns into a big adult version of Simba. And that's what I'm saying that this lion kind of lacks, is the big, cool looking mane of adult Simba, if you're still following my train of thought. And yes, I know the real question you're all wondering before we end this video: does this build process go well with Elton John music? And I'm happy to say that yes, it does. Especially the Circle of Life. You could listen to that song on repeat probably a dozen times throughout this entire build process, and that's kind of fitting because for a 3-in-1 set where you build and unbuild and build and unbuild and eventually end up with a final version of the build, it's nice because the whole process is somewhat circular, of life-fular. That doesn't work very well, but you know what I mean. Elton John wrote the songs for The Lion King. This set is based on a lion. The joke works. Don't look too much into it. But hey, let me know what you think about this set in the comments down below. What's your favorite build? Ostrich, Pumbaa, or Lion King in this case? Man, we've made too many of those references already. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. If you've made it this far in the video, one last question for you. Who is your favorite narrator for the Spaceship Earth ride at Epcot at Walt Disney World? And if you can draw the parallel of why I'm asking that question in the context of this set, you get extra points. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time.